A staggering 1.2 million violent crimes occur in America each year. This chilling fact is just the tip of the iceberg. It is a stark reminder that crime, in its many forms, is a persistent issue that haunts the land of the free. When we break down these figures, the truth becomes even more unsettling. Over the past few years, we've seen a significant increase in both violent and nonviolent crimes. From the silent theft that robs peace of mind to the violent acts that end lives, the scale of crime is both vast and varied. The severity of these crimes is another aspect that can't be overlooked. It's not just about the sheer number of incidents, but the profound impact they have on victims, families, and communities. So where do these crimes happen the most? What cities are the hotspots for these heartbreaking statistics? Now, let's delve into the cities that contribute the most to these numbers. Detroit, often dubbed the Motor City, but it's also home to the highest crime rate in the United States. Beneath the gleam of shiny cars and the hum of engines, there's a darker narrative playing out in Detroit. The city, known for its vibrant car industry and music legacy, is struggling with crime rates that are alarmingly high. Let's delve into the numbers. Each year, Detroit sees an average of 50,000 crimes, a staggering figure that overshadows its industrial achievements. This number is not just a statistic on a page, it's a representation of the lives affected and the communities disrupted. The breakdown of these crimes tells an even more unsettling story. Violent crimes, including murder, assault, and robbery, account for a significant portion. They make up nearly a third of the total crimes, a terrifying reality for the citizens of this city. The remaining two-thirds are non-violent crimes, mostly theft-related. These figures are a grim testament to the city's struggle with law and order. But what's behind this surge in crime? Many attribute it to Detroit's economic woes. The city has faced financial struggles for decades, leading to job losses and high rates of poverty. When people are desperate, they often turn to desperate measures, and unfortunately, crime becomes a means of survival for some. The poverty rate in Detroit is among the highest in the nation. More than a third of the city's residents live below the poverty line, a sobering statistic that reflects the harsh reality of life in the Motor City. It's a vicious cycle. Poverty leads to crime, and crime exacerbates poverty, trapping residents in a never-ending loop of struggle and hardship. The city's officials are grappling with these issues, seeking ways to break this cycle and restore safety to the streets of Detroit. But it's not all doom and gloom. Despite these challenges, Detroit is a city of resilience and determination, a place where people continue to strive for a better future. And that's the spirit that will ultimately lead to change. Detroit certainly has its challenges, but it's not alone in this battle. St. Louis, the gateway to the West, but also a gateway to alarming crime rates. St. Louis, a city rich in history, culture, and unfortunately, crime. A city that has been grappling with a high crime rate for years, St. Louis has become synonymous with the challenges of urban living. The city, known for its iconic Gateway Arch, has another less flattering statistic attached to its name. It has consistently ranked among the cities with the highest crime rates in the United States. Now, let's delve into the numbers. St. Louis has a high number of violent crimes, a category that includes homicide, assault, and robbery. The rates of these crimes are alarmingly higher than the national average. However, non-violent crimes, such as theft and burglary, are also prevalent, adding to the city's overall crime rate. But what's behind these numbers? A significant contributing factor is the drug problem that has plagued the city for years. The drug trade fuels much of the violent crime, with disputes often escalating into deadly conflicts. Poverty and a lack of opportunities also play a part, as people are often driven to crime out of desperation. Yet amidst these grim realities, there's a glimmer of hope. St. Louis is not a city that's resigned to its fate. Efforts are being made on multiple fronts to combat these issues. The city's law enforcement agencies are working tirelessly, implementing new strategies to reduce crime rates. Community organizations are also stepping up, providing resources and support for those most vulnerable to falling into a life of crime. These initiatives are not a quick fix, and the road to change is long and filled with challenges. However, the city's determination to turn things around is undeniable. Every step taken, every life changed, brings St. Louis closer to shedding its reputation as a high-crime city. St. Louis, a city striving to change its narrative. Baltimore, the city of neighborhoods, yet marred by crime. often painted in the hues of its vibrant culture and rich history. Baltimore's darker shades are just as prominent. One can't help but notice the staggering crime rates that linger over this city like a cloud of despair. To put things into perspective, the number of violent crimes, those involving force or threat of force like homicide, rape, robbery, and assault, is alarmingly high. The city has been grappling with a rise in violent crimes, topping the charts and earning it an infamous spot among the most dangerous cities in America. Now, let's turn our gaze towards nonviolent crimes, primarily thefts. These crimes, although lacking in physical harm, leave a lasting impact on the victims, stripping them of their sense of security. Baltimore has seen a surge in these crimes as well, adding yet another layer to its grim criminal landscape. But what fuels this inferno of crime? A significant part of the answer lies in the city's struggle with gang violence. Street gangs, with their territorial disputes, drug trafficking, and other illicit activities, have become a catalyst for crime. Their actions create a vicious cycle of violence that the city finds hard to break. Yet Baltimore is far from a city that gives up. It's a city that fights back. A multitude of initiatives are underway to curb the crime rates. Law enforcement agencies are employing advanced technologies and predictive policing methods to preempt crime. Community-based programs are focusing on youth engagement and gang intervention, striving to nip the problem in the bud. Moreover, the city is investing in social programs aimed at poverty reduction and improving education, two key factors that often correlate with crime. Baltimore is striving to rewrite its narrative from a city besieged by crime to one that stands tall despite its challenges. Baltimore, a city caught in the crossfire, continues to fight back. Its battle is far from over, but with resilience and community spirit, Baltimore marches on, determined to break free from the chains of crime. Memphis, the home of blues, soul, and rock and roll, but also a high crime rate. As we delve into the struggles of Memphis, we find ourselves amidst a city that dances to a different rhythm, a rhythm that at times feels offbeat due to the high crime rate. Memphis, like many cities, has a significant crime issue. What's particularly alarming here is the high number of violent crimes. Homicides, aggravated assaults, and robberies are unfortunately common. The numbers are sobering. For every 100,000 residents, there are about 2,000 instances of violent crime. That's a rate that's significantly higher than the national average. But it's not just violent crimes that plague the city. Non-violent crimes, such as theft and burglary, also cast a long shadow over the vibrant streets of Memphis. The city grapples with a non-violent crime rate that's nearly 3 times the national average. Understanding the reasons behind these grim statistics is a complex task. High poverty and unemployment rates are 2 key contributors. With more than a quarter of the population living below the poverty line and a higher than average unemployment rate, many individuals find themselves in desperate situations. These socioeconomic factors have been linked to higher crime rates in cities across the globe, and Memphis is no exception. But the story of Memphis is not just one of struggle, it's also one of resilience. The city and its people are fighting back. Law enforcement agencies are doubling down on their efforts to curb crime, and community outreach programs have been established to provide support and opportunities to those most at risk. Nonprofit organizations are stepping in to help, offering educational programs, job training, and resources to those in need. Despite the challenges, the spirit of Memphis remains unbroken. The city continues to produce extraordinary music, food, and culture, all while battling its persistent crime issue. It's a testament to the resilience of the city and its people, who refuse to be defined solely by their struggles. Memphis, a city with a rich history, battles a persistent enemy. As we've seen, crime rates in these cities are alarmingly high. We've journeyed together from the dark corners of Detroit, where economic struggles breed both violent and non-violent crimes, to the trials of St. Louis, a city grappling with systemic issues that contribute to its high crime rate. Baltimore, despite its rich history and culture, is not exempt from this list, battling against a surge of both violent and non-violent crimes. And finally, we explored Memphis, a city where the crime rate is a reflection of deeper societal issues. Each city has its own unique struggles and reasons behind these daunting numbers. It's a complex web of socioeconomic factors, systemic issues, and sometimes a lack of effective policing strategies. But let's not forget, these are not just statistics. They represent real people living real lives in these cities. Change is a slow process, but with concerted efforts, these cities can turn the tide against crime.